Hi, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Before I get started, can somebody please confirm that you can hear and see me? I don't want to be talking to myself for the whole time. Awesome. Thank you so much, Austin. I really appreciate it. So give me just 1 second. So welcome to today's webinar. My name is Sarah. I'm a customer success manager here at Atera. And today we are going to do a walkthrough of the MSP platform. Just so you know, we do also have an ITD platform suitable for IT departments. If that does apply to you, we do have walkthroughs of that platform as well. And you can always reach out to success@atera.com for more information. And that being said, I'm going to have a couple separate Q&A sessions, as you can see in the agenda. If I don't get to your question, please feel free to email success@atera.com or me directly, sarah@atera.com, and you can also find those emails in the chat. So quick agenda for today, an introduction to Atera. Then we'll get into all things PSA, so help desk, reporting, billing. Then we'll have a set Q&A for the PSA, and then we will go into RMM, so remote monitoring, patch management, remote connection, and reporting for that as well. And then we'll have a Q&A session for that. So just a quick introduction to Atera. It started in 2011. Its goal was to create a single pane of glass for IT professionals and to have both an RMM and a PSA in one solution. At this point, we do have customers worldwide. This is actually a little outdated because I believe we have over 12,000 users in over 100 countries, which is very exciting. And you can always feel free to check out our reviews on review sites like G2 Crowd, Capterra, etc., just to see what our other customers are saying about us. If you are enjoying the platform, that's a great place to leave a review. It really helps us, and we really do appreciate it. So now, without further ado, I will go to the Atera platform. Give me just 1 second. And if somebody, again, can confirm that they see my screen, that would be great. I wish I could tell you that I haven't had a webinar where I just presented to myself, but that's not the case. So you should now be able to see the Atera platform. Does everybody see it? Awesome. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate you guys being so attentive and helpful. So here we are on our Atera dashboard. It does open to the devices page, but I just want to show the dashboard. So for those of you who have never seen Atera before, welcome. For those of you who are our customers, welcome back. This is the dashboard, which is actually relatively new in terms of the layout. Here you can see information pulled from all over the platform into these widgets. This page is customizable, so if you go to the 3 dots on the top right, you can choose what you want to see and what you don't. You can also change the size of these. You can change the size of these depending on what's important, X out from here, move things around. It kind of just depends on what you want to be seeing. If you click on that widget, as you can see, it will take you to that relevant page. So you can see a lot of information, map of your customers, alerts per customer, overdue tickets, etc. So that's the dashboard. And then we are going to start with our customers. So the first step in creating your Atera account is to create a customer. As you can see, all of these customers here, you can see the logo, the title, how many unmonitored devices there are. That's related to network discovery, which we do have a separate webinar on. Phone number, which you can just call directly. The address, contact, rank, etc. You can also filter this page and mass delete if you wanted to. You can also search the customer by name. So we're going to go ahead and create a new customer. Let's say it is Milo dog. If you didn't guess, that's the name of my dog. And you can fill out all of this information now or later. I'm going to do it later because it's not mandatory. You'll see that the asterisk denotes what is mandatory. So I'm going to click next. And then you can choose a contract. This is optional, but I'm just going to leave it as default contract. Just to determine how, when, and how much my customer will be billed. You can see that we have a bunch of different types of contracts, and on the side, it will explain which one it is. So retainer flat fee, hourly, block hours, block money, etc. I'm going to leave it at hourly for now. And again, you can fill all of this out, and just whatever is mandatory, you can fill out. So I'm just going to do the basic rate. Again, there's all this additional information that we can do later. Going to click next. You can select an SLA and the alert threshold profile. I do recommend that you assign these. So you will have to go in and set those up in admin. I'll show you how to do that after. But let's just say the default SLA and default profile will automatically be assigned. That's so that as soon as you install agents on your devices, you'll immediately be able to monitor them. And then contact, so Milo puppy and Milo at dogs.com. And again, you can add more information or go back. And as you can see at the bottom, you can skip and create. I'm just going to create. And this is loading. And now you can see this is what my customer looks like. So it's the name of the customer. You can add a logo if it's relevant, any notes. You can add the domain. That ensures that when somebody opens a new ticket, it will go directly to this customer if it belongs to Milo Dog. You can add all of this customer information. You can delete the customer directly. And this is what the customer looks like. Yeah, now for the sake of really showing you the most information, I'm going to go to a customer that was already created. So let's go to 4Dogs Coding. So as you can see, you see the logo and all of the information filled out here. You can also see the contacts. The asterisk denotes a main contact. That means that they will be able to see all of the tickets from this specific customer. And that's related to the customer portal, which I will show you later. You can sync your contacts with Azure Active Directory and also import contacts. You can add a new contact. So you see the contacts up here, then contracts. You remember we chose those. You can have multiple different contracts for one customer depending on what you're working on. So as you can see, we have hourly, but then we have project, and then we have some block hours. So it really just depends. And then you go to devices, and you can see all of the devices assigned to this customer. You can perform a lot of actions here. As you can see, agent installer customized. So we are going to install the agent. For those of you who don't know, installing the agent is how Atera works. It's how we perform all of our monitoring. And you can install the agent up top where it says install agent, also new agent installer. And then over here, the 3 dots, agent installer customize, that means that I will automatically be assigning this agent to this customer. So since we're already here, we can do that. So we do offer a native agent on Windows, Mac, and Linux. For those of you who have been with us for a little while, we have been waiting for Linux, so very excited to have that. I'm just going to go with Windows for now. As you can see, the customer is automatically populated. You can also choose a folder if it's relevant. I'm just going to click next. And then here are the options. So you can either download the agent installer directly if you're on the end user device. You can install via the command prompt as an admin, or you can share the installer download link with your customer. So it's super easy. And once you install that, even though I did click cancel, it will show up here. And we'll get to the rest of the devices later. But once you have your agents installed, then you can begin to populate them in your customer. We also have asset management. So depending on your plan, you can have a certain number of custom assets that you can add depending on what you want to keep track of. If I just click the plus, you can see I can go ahead and create an asset type. Again, I can create new, or I can use one that I already created. and we're just gonna go back, and you can see all that here. Then tickets. So these are all the tickets related to this customer. You can sort it in different ways. You can also see related to the SLA and different information over here. If you click it, you will be able to go see the ticket. Then you can see alerts. So these alerts are generated by the threshold profiles that I mentioned at the beginning. So each device is assigned a default threshold profile, but we will go over how to customize that in the RMM section. So these alerts are related to all of the devices for this customer. Then we have a password manager. This is just to store relevant passwords, any attachments. Maybe you have contracts or warranty or anything like that relevant that you can save there, and then invoices. So once we have a customer, we can go and create a ticket. So this is what the tickets look like. Because of the filters, it looks like we are not seeing any tickets. I'm not sure why that is. There must be some filter. Anyways, yeah, there you go. So these are all the tickets. Again, you can perform some bulk actions. You can delete, assign a ticket to a technician, set the status, set the priority, and merge tickets. You can also see this information here. We'll talk about the very exciting little star button that is AI related. You can see the assigned technician, and you can edit that from here: priority, activity status, and status. Again, you can add all these different filters and change views. You can also schedule tickets, and I will show you how to do that in a moment, and they will show up here. So you can see on the right-hand side the frequency, if it's one time or if it's recurring, and this is a good way to project manage and things like that. So if we go in and we go to create a ticket, just so you know, you can create a ticket manually by clicking what I just clicked. You can also click new on the left hand and click ticket. Your customers can also email you, and you can set up the email forwarding. They can also open a ticket via the customer portal. And that is how you can open a ticket. So I'm going to go ahead and create a ticket for the new customer that we just created. So customer Milo dog, contact Milo puppy, ticket title, printer is broken. And I'm just going to say my printer is not connecting to my computer. Help, I need to print. And again, you can attach files, you can hyperlink, insert an image, etc. And over here, you can see that it's including the ticket creation and work time. So what that means is however long it takes me to log this ticket, that will be added to the total ticket time. You don't need to do that. You can uncheck it. And you can also set that specifically in settings. And as I mentioned earlier, you can schedule a ticket for a later date. We basically have this new AI scheduler. So I can just say, schedule this ticket for every Friday and click generate. And now it's going to schedule at Friday at 12 a.m. I can say Friday at 10 a.m. and regenerate, and then there you go. So it's super easy. You just write that in, and then you can see ticket assignment and type on the right-hand side. So assign technician, I'll leave it as myself. You can change the type, contract, and ticket properties. Now, some of these are custom fields, which you can edit in admin. And I'm just gonna go ahead and create. And now, we'll have to find where that ticket went. I apologize. I can go to myself. And for some reason, I can't find that ticket, maybe because it didn't create properly, I'm not sure. As you can see, printing problems are a very popular ticket. So I'm just gonna go into another ticket that we have to show you. So basically you can see the ticket number at the top, you can see the timer. Again, this will have included the time that it took to create this original ticket. You can pause the SLA timer and you can edit it. At the top, you can see the technician that the ticket is assigned to, the device that it's attached to, what contract it's attached to. Again, you can click here and change it. I'll just leave it as it is. And you can change whether you want the default to be public reply or internal note. Again, this is just to prevent accidentally saying something to the customer that you meant to send to another of your texts. And then we have, very exciting, the AI assistant. So the AI assistant is relatively new, and basically what it can do is display a ticket summary for you. Now, of course, this ticket is super simple and it's a test ticket about a printer being broken. However, when a ticket is very long and maybe it's gone from technician to technician and different end users, it's very helpful to see a summary instead of reading through the whole ticket. You can then generate a solution and also a reply. Again, see, even though this was a test ticket, it's telling us check the printer's power source, check the printer's ink levels, restart the printer and computer to reset any settings, etc. And then you can generate a reply as well. I definitely recommend that you guys try this out. It's definitely a time saver and again, can be very helpful for those longer tickets. So I'm gonna go ahead and close that. So you can add a time entry. Let's say I went on site to check the printer. And I went for 30 minutes and it's billable. So I'm going to add that. And then in actions, you can merge the ticket. You can mark it as spam, delete it, start a chat with the end user. We do integrate with Office 365 and Google Calendars. That is to connect events related to tickets into your calendar. So let's say you wanted to schedule when you were going to go on site for this, you would click whichever relevant calendar and schedule from there. Now, we saw the time entries earlier, and you can see that here of what I just entered. And if I go ahead and close, and then we can go to products and expenses. This is not added. I will show you that in admin. However, that's if you want to add, let's say I had to charge them for a new printer, that's where you would do that. So we can also select, you have the option for quick reply templates. So printer issues is something that we see a lot, so that I can automatically generate this response, make sure that it is a public reply, not an internal note. And then I can go ahead and send it. I can also see the conversation. And then on the right-hand side, again, you can see the status, the SLA, who requested it. You can connect directly to the device if it's relevant. You can see the calendar events, like I mentioned. You can see previous tickets from that same contact, and then ticket status. So I'm gonna go ahead and resolve this ticket, and I will just leave that as is and then click update. So now, once it brings me back to tickets, we will see, we won't be able to see it because we're not seeing resolved. I want to see just resolved tickets. And so now you can see all of the tickets that have been resolved. And now we're going to go, the next step that you would do once you create a ticket and solve that ticket is to go to your timesheet report and see what you can bill for. And no worries about other things in admin. I will get to those after this section. So as I mentioned, the timesheet report, that is a great way to see what you have available to bill. So we can filter by either ticket resolve date or entry date. I'll just do entry date. The time period, you can do last 30 days. For the sake of more data, I will do the last 120 days. And you can sort by specific technician. I'm just going to leave it as all. You can display the ticket rates and amounts. You can also display all tickets, which would include tickets that are not only ready for billing, and any relevant ticket custom fields. For now, I'm just going to say none and generate. So now, as you can see, the summary at the top, so I can see that I have 222 tickets that are available for billing in this time period. I can see how many time entries, how many hours were worked, and the total amount billable. Now, if you scroll down, you can also see the customer name, the contact name, the contract, which technician worked on the ticket, the title, when it was resolved, if it's billable, etc. Again, you can see the resolved down here because these were not resolved. So now we know what we have available to bill. And just as a reminder, all reports can be exported, most of them by Excel and PDF. So you can go ahead and do that if you want. You can also schedule a report if you want that to show up automatically, if you need it every week or every month or something like that. So once we have our timesheet and we know what to bill for, we can go over to the billing module and we can create an invoice batch. An invoice batch is basically an itemized listing of services and payment owed by customers in a specific billing period. And then you can generate invoices from there. So we can go ahead and select new invoice batch. Actually, before I do that, I just want to show the accounting integration. So we do integrate with QuickBooks and Xero, QuickBooks Online. That's important to note, and you can just connect through here, and it will prompt you to connect your QuickBooks, and then you'll be able to export, etc. If we go back to billing and create a new invoice batch. So what you can see here is all of the contracts from a certain time period that are available to be billed. So for now, I will just select a couple of these from this customer, 4 Dogs Coding. You can see the details on the right-hand side. So it's 6 bills to create, only 1 unbilled ticket, 1 hour worked, the amount of the billable amount, which seems very high for 1 hour worked, tax and total, and then save as. So I recommend that you save it as the customer. And then the month, so November, and then 2023. So you can go ahead and click run. And so now this shows the invoices that are a part of this batch. And now if we go to the right-hand side, again, you can see the details here. You can see that it wants to create 6 invoices. If we wanted to, we can do 1 invoice per customer, which I'll just go ahead and do because it is just 1 customer. You can make a batch with multiple customers, but I recommend to go by 1 specific customer. And you can choose if you want the invoice line group by contract, ticket, or time entry. I will do ticket. And I will go ahead and generate invoices. So now we can go in and see a specific invoice. So we can see it line by line. Labor, it says just 1 at 4,000. And then we go down and you can always add a row. So let's say you want to add a specific product. You can do that and then that will be adjusted. From there, you can email the invoice, you can create a PDF, you can print, I can save and close, and I'm just going to cancel. And then, of course, you can export your invoices. This is where it's helpful to have your accounting hooked up, so either QuickBooks or Xero. And you can also export to a CSV. So that's how, and then you would do the accounting from there. So now I will go ahead and just show you in, first let's go to more reports for the PSA. So basically it's good to look at your SLA. This is a report to see what tickets are falling where, any recent processes. You can also see your top customers, the timesheet report, like I mentioned, which is really important, products and expenses, so that you can see what you've sold, and then satisfied and dissatisfied customers. Again, seeing who's happy with your service and seeing who needs some improvement. And then if we go to admin, so there are some important things to point out. So in settings, we can go to tickets. And like I mentioned, you can choose whether you want the tickets creation time to automatically be on or not. You can deselect that. You can also decide whether you want the ticket timer to automatically start, whether you want it to be manual, or whether you want it to be hidden. In terms of how you want to handle spam tickets, time entries. So I definitely recommend looking on this. And then this is more RMM stuff. Again, the SLA, I recommend that you set that up. This is, you can see all the different SLAs that will be based on the contract, the service level agreement. That's the amount of time that you agree to handle your clients' tickets. You can also adjust your business hours, custom fields, like I mentioned. You can see different fields that you can add to these different pages. If I go back to admin, ticket automation rules, I definitely recommend you check that out. There is a very helpful knowledge base article about that. Calendar integration, like I mentioned. Accounting is where you can connect your QuickBooks, like I mentioned before. And then the customer portal. This is where your customers can access and open tickets. I'm not going to open that now, but you can just see the domain here. If you go to admin and customer portal, you can also add to a knowledge base, which can also be seen in the customer portal. You can white label, and then this is our API. You can just view the documentation, and you can just view from here. Again, that is in admin. So I feel like I just spoke a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and pause for a second and answer any questions that you guys may have on the PSA side. I noticed that there aren't any questions in the Q&A, but I'm checking if there's any question of the chat in the chat. Right now, either everybody's really confused or everybody understands everything, because either way, there are no questions. I will take a minute or two just to see if there's anything else. Otherwise, I will go on to the RMM section. Okay. So I will continue on. Again, I'm putting the two emails in the chat again so that you see them in case you need a question answered after this. So success@atera.com and then sarah@atera.com. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. I know it's repetitive, but if somebody could please confirm again that they see my screen, I would really appreciate it. Thank you, Jordan. Wow, Austin, you have responded first every single time. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. So here we are for the RMM. So as I mentioned earlier, the way that everything works is through the Atera agent. So an Atera agent, again, can be installed natively on Windows, Mac, or Linux. However, we can also manage SNMP devices, TCP, websites, HTTP, and generic, and that connects to any device that has the native Atera agent on it. So that brings us to the devices page. So you can see all of the devices that you have here. You can, again, perform bulk action items. You can run a script, assign an automation profile, software installation, assign a threshold profile, and then all this stuff. Shutdown actions. You can access certain apps from our App Center. I'm going to deselect that so I don't do anything I would regret. Again, you can also choose different views and filter the page based on what you want to see. You can see the name of the device, the type of device, which customer it belongs to. You can see whether it's online or offline, any relevant alerts, which we'll get into in a moment, any available patches, and if there are are available patches, you can go ahead and select that and install from there. You can connect remotely directly from this page. In settings in admin, you're able to choose whether you want to use Splash Shop, which is included on all plans, or AnyDesk, which is included on Growth and above, and which one you want to be the default, and then that's the one that you will see here. You can also manage the devices from here and add a new device. So I'm going to go ahead and access an online device. So as you can see, this is the name of the device. The star actually means that it's a favorite agent, whether it's online or offline. Again, you can connect and you can use AnyDesk as well. You can choose. Sorry, that is the Milo dog that I referenced earlier. We also do offer TeamViewer and Screen Connect if you already have an account with them. It's not included in your subscription. Give me just 1 second. I apologize. I am very sorry for that, everybody. I hope that he calms down. As I was saying, you can manage the device from here. So you can access Service Manager, Task Manager, you can access software inventory and installation, patch management, command prompt, PowerShell, file transfer. You can perform shutdown items. You can access the help desk agent, activate or deactivate. What that basically means is on Windows devices, you can enable a help desk agent that will show up in the bottom right-hand tray, and your end users will be able to open a ticket directly from there. That's very helpful. Again, apps, and then you can also edit the relations. You can access a password manager. As I said, we have one through the customer contact and also through the devices. You can see any relevant monitored devices, so that would be any SNMP devices, HTTP, etc. And you can create a ticket directly from here. Over here, we can see some general information and then any relevant alerts. So this is hardware alerts, disk alerts, availability alerts, performance alerts, available patches, and general alerts. The metrics are gathering. I'm not sure what is taking so long, but basically this shows CPU level either over the last 24 hours, last week, or last month. Then you can see software information, security information, and any custom fields that you may want to add. And then hardware information, any disk capacity. Over on the right-hand side, you can see recent alerts, scheduled shutdown items, and then over here, the profiles. This is really the key of how the Atera agent is going to work. So we have threshold profiles, IP automation profiles, and a configuration policy. Basically, each device needs to have one threshold profile. It can only have one. And then it can have multiple IT automation profiles, which we recommend, and a configuration policy. So I'm going to go ahead and show you those from our admin. So you go to admin and thresholds. And these are all the thresholds. You can go to the bottom and add profile. I'm going to just click one of the thresholds here. And as you can see on the right-hand side, we have a bunch of presets that we recommend for monitoring thresholds for PC, Mac, laptop, Linux, and server. And of course, once these are populated, you can go in and edit them. So if you want to change the percentage or change the time period, you can do that. A very cool feature that we have is the ability to add an auto-healing script. Basically, you can go ahead and add a script that would solve the issue. For example, if something is wrong with your cache or you want to clear data, you can go ahead and do that. And so basically, when the threshold is met, instead of you or a technician having to go in and fix it, the script will fix the issue without you doing anything. You can also go ahead and add your own items. You can add from the preset. You can add a custom one. And then we also offer script-based thresholds. This is also a newer feature. And basically, you can add a script to monitor whatever threshold you want. Again, we do have a shared script library now of over 900 scripts, which is awesome. We do also have an AI script generator, which I will show you soon, which can also be used for this. So you would go ahead and select that, and then again, you can use the auto healing script. Now the threshold is going to be assigned and profile assignment. You can assign it to whichever customer you want, and then just click save. If we go back to admin, once we have our threshold set, we can go to alert settings. So this is choosing how, once the thresholds are met, we want to receive these alerts. So you can receive an email for the alerts. You can choose multiple emails. You can choose what type of threshold alert you want to receive emails for, if it's warning, critical, resolved. You can also choose if you want to only receive emails during work hours for these alerts. If you plan to have Atera on in the background, you can have a sound alert. You can customize it based on critical or warning. And then a very cool feature we have is that you can automatically create a ticket from an alert. So what that means is if you have these specific customers selected, if they have a threshold item that triggers an alert that is critical, it will automatically create a ticket. What this means is it's a very easy way to keep track of how these alerts are being handled, a good way to document it, and then, of course, a good way to show your customer when you're billing them. And then just don't forget to click save. So then you can see all those alerts here and alerts. If I click on the down arrow on the right-hand side, you can see the specific alert that was triggered. You can see how severe it is, when it was created, the category. You can create a ticket directly from here. And again, you can filter that page. So in addition to the threshold profiles, like I mentioned, we also have patch management and IT automation profiles. This is where you can perform a bunch of other automations. And I really do encourage you guys to use this because doing manual things is a thing of the past. Atera really helps you to automate things and make processes a lot easier so that you can deal with more emergency situations as they come up. So you can see that we have all of these profiles. We'll go into them in a second. Just want to note that you can exclude patches on a global level. So all of the threshold profile, or excuse me, IT automation profiles will exclude these patches. We also have the ability to run on an offline agent. What that means is if the profile attempts to run on an agent when it's offline, whatever time period you select, the profile will attempt to run on that agent. It will attempt to catch it online at the top of every hour for that time period. So that is a really helpful feature just to make sure everything gets done. So we're going to go in and just click on a random profile. As you can see at the top, you can schedule the automation. This can be really helpful. So I can go ahead and click add schedule. If I want to do it daily, every 9 days at 1 a.m., I can go ahead and do that and click save. You can also do it a bunch of different ways. If I want to do it weekly, every Tuesday, etc. You also have the ability to just run the profile right now by clicking run now. Over here, if I click run the profile on newly installed agents, that of course means that when an agent is newly installed, this profile will run as long as it is assigned to the specific customer, folder, etc. That's really helpful to make sure that all of your devices are up to date when you're onboarding. It's really helpful for software and things like that. So you can see that the profiles are divided into 3 sections: OS patch management, software patch management, and upgrades, and then disk management and maintenance. We do recommend that you have multiple different profiles for these different categories, just to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So you can see over here, install patch management. You can go as granular as you want. You can also do for Mac and Windows. And over here, software patch management. So everything that's being installed via Chocolatey will be updated when you select update all. And then there are select softwares that are updated automatically regardless of where they were installed from. You can see this list here. So again, things like Dropbox, Google Chrome, Skype, Zoom, etc. So if we go back, you can also exclude software patches and then software bundles. This can be really helpful for onboarding. So I can basically select a new bundle. I can say new customer, and I can, if I need all of my new users to have Skype, I can go ahead and add that. And they also need Chrome. So I can go ahead and add, actually, I'll just do Skype for Chrome. And then let's say this is what they need. So I can go ahead and create. And then if I select new customer, I see that here. And then if this run the profile newly installed agents is selected, that means that when you're onboarding a new device, adding the agent, it will automatically update everything and add this software, which can be, again, very helpful. If you don't see the relevant software that you want in Chocolatey or Homebrew, you can always add it via a script, and we have a private repository coming as well. You can also upgrade to Windows 10 or 11, and over on the right-hand side, you can see disk management and maintenance. We do recommend you have a separate profile just for rebooting, and this is a great place to schedule shutdowns. If you go to the bottom and see patch approval settings, we now have the ability, if you select manage, save and continue, to postpone or approve or exclude Windows critical updates, non-critical updates, and Mac updates. We do see a lot of our customers postponing critical updates for 14 days. So after Patch Tuesday, you want to just kind of make sure that everything is running smoothly and there aren't any problems. So you can postpone. You can select always approve or postpone, and then of course select the days. We do see a lot of clients, as I mentioned, doing it for 2 weeks. And then you can also search here for excluded patches. And then down here, you'll be able to see all excluded and postponed patches. Let's say a critical update comes through, and after a week, you know that it's totally fine. So you'll be able to approve it directly from here. And then you can assign this. Again, as we recommended, you should assign it to, you should have multiple profiles for one device just to make sure that everything runs smoothly and nothing is interfering. Now, in terms of shutdown actions, you can see over here that we can do that in the IT automation profiles. We can also do that in the configuration policies. So if I just click on this, you can go ahead and name your profile, describe it, and sorry, give me just 1 second. So sorry about that. So as I mentioned, you can name it and describe it, and then you can basically use this to Windows update restart configurations. So you can choose to either revert to device settings, disable auto restart, restart out of active hours, restart after selected time period. You can also allow your end users to control the device restarts themselves, and you can customize a message if you're forcing a restart after X amount of prompts. And then you can also choose how to configure Windows updates. So we did see that in the IT automation profile. So you can control it via the IT automation profile, which we recommend, or you can allow automatic Windows local updates. And then you can see which customer it's assigned to. You can assign by folder and also by agent. And then relevant reports for our RMM, I would say are patch, search, and deploy. So you can basically see a list of devices with specific patches installed. I'm just going to select all, and I will filter by all and go ahead and generate. So you can basically see all the patches that have been installed. That's very helpful. If I go back to classic reports, you can see patch automation and feedback. So that just basically shows what's been going on with patching on the different devices. So you can see how many tasks have run, the success rate, the failed actions, etc. This one is not looking too good, but probably because none of these devices are really active. I do just want to quickly go back to admin. I know that I mentioned the AI script generator, so I do want to show you guys that. So if you go to admin and scripts, you go to create scripts, and you can see it here. So basically I can just enter a script name, clear cache, clears cache. You can choose the file type depending on what program you want to use. You can also customize more script properties. I'm going to leave it as is. And then you can just describe what you want the script to do. So I want the script to clear all cache and cookies. And I will go ahead and generate that. And again, this is a really helpful tool for people who may not be super familiar with scripting, or who just want to save time, even if you do know how to script. Again, you saw how quick this was, and then you can go back and edit depending on what you want to do, and then you just need to click create. So that's a very cool feature, and again, another way to automate things to save you guys time. Now, if we go back to admin, you can also see SNMP templates. We're also adding an SNMP OID AI generator, a lot of letters there. Basically, it does the same thing. If you want the OIDs for a Brother printer, for example, you can type that in and it will generate those for you. So that is basically it for the RMM side of things. You can definitely get a lot more detailed, but that is just an overview. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen again and see if now anybody has any questions after everybody saying that it was intuitive beforehand. Anybody? Okay, I see that Austin has a question on the dashboard. So the question was about the map on the dashboard. That's basically pulling from over in customers, where you can see the address, and also in devices, you can see the IP address, which potentially is showing the location. But it's mainly from the customer's locations that we have put in address and then contacts as well. And somebody asked, is the AI features included in all plans? So right now it is. As it's being developed, that is possible that it could change, but right now it is available to everybody. And if anybody is having any troubles, oh, there's my dog. If anybody is having any trouble accessing that, please feel free to reach out to support because you should have access to it. Any other questions? And again, if you think of a question after this, you can feel free to email me directly. You can always reach out to Success as well. We are here to help. We also have a ton of other webinars. So I'm going to just go ahead and go back to my presentation. So as I mentioned, we have a bunch of other training webinars. We have network discovery, patching, specific to RMM, specific to PSA. We also have a walkthrough of the IT department platform, a billing webinar. You can also access our knowledge base, blog. We do have a community, which is really helpful. It's a place to discuss different techniques. Other people have suggestions, maybe questions. And I do invite you to do that. And it's good to just be a part of something bigger, all of our Atera customers. You can also, of course, access our support via live chat. And that's basically it. So I want to say thank you to everybody. I really appreciate you taking the time to come watch this webinar. And again, feel free to reach out if you need anything else. I do see that there is one more question. Ticket categories and subcategories. I believe that you are referring to the different fields. What I suggest you do for that is to go to admin and then custom fields and see what categories you can use. Alternatively, you might be talking about the filters, and you can filter through that. Again, if you have specific questions about that customization, feel free to email me. So again, thank you all so much. I appreciate your participation and your patience with me and my dog. And I wish you good luck with Atera moving forward. Have a good day, everybody.